welcome back. In this video, we are going to be taking a tutorial pixel lab, but this time round, we are going to be testing out the text editing and the object editing. So this confirmation message, I have to cancel it because I don't want to recover the last design. All right. Oh, sorry, I missed the step. I skipped the test step there. So today we are going to be looking at this icon. That is the text editing icon and its usage. Alright, what this text editing icon is used for in Pixel Lab is that it is used to add text and edit the text you added. So on this page we have a default text on this page, writing the name of the developer of this app. This is a modded app. This is a modded version of Pixel Lab, so it is writing the name of the developer. On the basic version of Pixel Lab, you have defaults on the page. Do you get it? All right, so we have a lot of icons here for different functions in Pixel Lab. As you can see, we have a row of items here, so you can navigate through the items, which we'll do in this video. So because of our time, let us start from the styles. What styles are used for is they are to add custom styles that we have to our text. All right, you know what? Let me delete this one using this delete button here. Let me just delete it. So let us add our own text. To add your text, you just have to click on this plus button down here. Let us add our text. So if we want to change the style, you just click on the styles, you click on browse, and if you have any saved style, but you don't really need the styles because all those things you can actually make them, you can design them yourself, you can edit your text to look like all the styles. Do you get it? So you don't have to use the custom style. But let me tell you, this is a custom style. You can check through all the custom styles, and if you like any of them, you can use them. And the second icon on our row is the edit icon. The edit icon is just used to change the text on your screen. For example, we have new text on the screen here. Can you see it? We have new text, and to change this new text to probably let me change it to tutorial. Okay, let me change it to tutorial. I click on this edit button, edit icon, and clicking on it. If you want to delete every single thing on this page, you have to click on this delete icon here. The first icon, the TT icon, stands for text size. Sorry, yes, it stands for, what do I call it? If you want to change the case of the text from either a small case to a lower case, from a lower case to higher case, upper case, can you see this? So if I want to delete everything on my screen, I just click on this, and let me add text tutorial. All right. So after adding your text, you can, if you don't want to save this change, you can click on cancel, but if you want to save it, you click on OK. So let us click on OK because we are saving the change. All right, can you see the text has been changed to tutorial? And the next one is delete. You know what delete does, right? So don't let us test that out. It's a bad boy. So the next one is copy. The copy icon is used to duplicate our text. So if we click on this copy icon here, can you see this text has been duplicated? Copy, copy, copy. You can duplicate the text as many times as possible. So it depends on what you want. So let us now try the delete icon out, so we can delete all this text that we've duplicated. They are not useful to us. So let us just get them deleted. So let us select our text. And the next one is to front. To front is an order. It's like an order. If you want to bring this text to the front of a particular layer, sorry, if you want to bring the text to the front of all the layers, then you click onto front. Let us duplicate this text and change the color. For you to change the color, you have to click on this color icon. Let's just select the color, probably blue. Can you see this blue color is this blue text is showing on top of this silver text. But if you want to send it to the back, then you click on this to back icon to send it to the back of the whole layer, and to front to bring it to the front. So you now get what to front and to back, what they do. So the next one is position. Position is just the tool used to change the position of your text. So it is if you're not accurate with just dragging it on the screen like this, you can use the position tool to change the position of your text. So it gives you opportunity to move your text using buttons, and you can also you can alter the progress bar of how this seek bar of how far your text or object on the screen will move. So that is the function of the position. And the next one is relative position. The function of relative position is just to set the text on a particular side or edge of your workspace. So the first one we have here is to left. So if we click on it, it's going to set to the left. And the next second one is to center, to horizontal center. The third one is to right. The fourth one to top. You can see from the pictures, from the icons. The fifth one is center vertical, and the last one is to bottom. So if you want to set your text to the perfect middle, you just have to click the two icons on the middle here. All right, so the next one is size. You should know what size means, right? So you can use it to change the size of your text if you don't want to be dragging this. All these tools, position and size, they are used to avoid inaccuracy. Do you get it? So you can just increase the size. You can decrease the size here. All right. The next one is padding. Padding is a tool that is used to add spaces around your text. So left padding, right padding. Can you see it is adding a space around our text? Right padding. All right. So we have those. If you want to reset it, you just click on this reset button. And if you want to apply the changes, you click on mark. And the next one is color. Color is just used to change the color of your text. For example, this we have a row of colors here, default colors. You can also add your color using this plus button. I will make a video on color changes. So let us just keep this for this part. But you know the basic colors we have here. You can click on this color. Perhaps you can also check out the function of this color changer and use it yourself. Do you get it? So we have gradient as well. You can add gradient colors. If you don't want to add solid colors to your text, you can add gradient colors. We have default gradient colors here. You can also change your gradient color using this one. So I will make a video on the color. So anticipate. All right, let us just change this to yes. The next one is texture. Texture is a tool that is used to add a texture to your text. What texture means is that you want it to feel like something. You can add a texture of an image. Let me add a texture of an image. Let me select an image from my gallery. So you see what I'm talking about. You want to you want your text to have a feeling of something. Yeah, let me look for an image I can use as texture. Okay, let me use this one of this backgrounds as texture. So you see what I'm talking about. Can you see it is filled with this with the green background with the green picture I selected. So you can alter the things here. So you can apply your changes by selecting the mark button. And the next one is opacity. Opacity is how clear you want your objects or text to show. So when you decrease the opacity, can you see it is reducing in the alpha? So you can also allow it to affect the shadow if you have a shadow on your text. And the next one is rotate. Rotate is just also a tool for avoiding inaccuracy in rotating your object. In Pixel Lab, you use this tool down here under this one to rotate your text. So can you see this? But if you want to rotate it to 30 degrees, you can't be adjusting it one small by small, and you're not even going to be sure if it is 30 degrees. Can you see we have 34 here, so it is going to show it on this seek bar, so you can see your angle. So when you already get 34 and you're going to 30, you just have to subtract, you just have to add it. Okay, we are not getting 30, so let us add this. So that is how you use the rotate. So you apply your changes clicking the mark button. And the next one is mask. Mask is a great tool. I will make a video on that, but for that time, let's just have an overlook. Mark is just used to cut out some parts of your text and also to carve them into some shapes. It is used in kerning. So you have all the tools here, which I will explain in the video designated for this particular tool. So let us cancel the effects because it is not going to be good on our text. So the next one is font. Font is the styling you give to your text. So we have this font here. This font is just a normal font. It's a normal sans serif font. Let us add a better font. So we on Pixel you get some fonts at default. So let us add a font. Can you see the font has been changed and this looks beautiful. So that is about the font. You can also add your own fonts too. I'll make a video on how to add your font. You can see I have my font here that I've added. Alright. So the next one is style. Style is also a tool that is used to give further styling apart from fonts to your text, such as bold, italic, and underline. So you can cancel all the effects you've done to your work here. So just click on this. That's all. And the next one is curve. Curve is used to apply curve. For example, if you want to create a design an emblem logo, you have to curve your text around the shape you want to bend it across. So you can use the curve to the bending to curve it around the shape. Yes, it is bending. It is bending. So that's how it is done. All right. You apply the changes, and the next one is background. Background is used to apply a background to your text only. On Pixel Lab, we can add a background to the whole work we are to the whole workspace. But if you want to add a background to your text, you can use the background. So you can enable it and begin to add a background. Let's add a silver background, a white background, a gray background. So you can pad it. You know what padding means? Adding spaces around your text. You can pad it right, left, top, down. Radius. You can set the radius. Okay, so the radius is the curving of the edges of your background or anything. So that's about the background. And the next one is align. Align is used to center your text. For example, if we have some text here, you want to align them to the right, so to the center, to the left. I will tell you more about align as we move on in this tutorial. And spacing. Spacing is adding spaces between each single letter of your word. So you can see we have spaces between each letter in our text, so you can recover what you've done and you can apply what you've done here. Line spacing, if you have more than one line, you can also add spacing between your line, and that is how the line spacing works. So the stroke is the outline. That is like a thin line you want to draw outside your text or an object. So you can set the stroke here. Let us use, for example, this stroke. Can you see what I'm talking about here? So this is about the stroke. You can add the stroke. You can increase the stroke width. You can alter the stroke width, and you can also add a gradient stroke. So this is a gradient stroke. But please, when you are designing, don't use all the effects on this pixel lab because it might cause your design to be very horrible. So you just have to use all the effects properly. It's not necessary you use all the effects. You might even use just 3 effects and your design would be perfect. So the next one is the shadow. The shadow is used to add elevation to your objects or your text. So we have a shadow here. Let's just change the color of the shadow to pink. So you would see it's blurred as okay, because it already has a background, though it is showing the shadow, but you're not really seeing it well. Let's add outer glow. Can you see? You can change the offset X, offset Y. That's about shadow. And inner shadow, this is outer shadow that you see. The inner shadow is used to add a shadow within the text itself. Can you see? If we disable it, can you see the difference between disabling it and enabling it? It is adding a shadow inside the text itself. So that is about inner shadow. You can also alter the offset X, offset Y. And the next one is emboss. This emboss, if you want to use it, you have to be very careful with it because it can destroy your design. So you have to be very careful with it. And the makes your design looks like, let me say, a candy. It just adds bevel to your design. So you enable it, and can you see it has destroyed this design already? So that is why I said you have to be very careful when using the emboss effect. So you can disable it and go on with your design. The perspective tool is the next tool on our row. The perspective tool is used to set a perspective. You know what perspective means? It means view. If you want to alter the view of your text or your object, you have to use the perspective. So let us enable this. I can alter the view. Can you see it is viewed as though I'm viewing it from the side like this? Can you see it? So you can add such perspective to your object as though I'm viewing it from the side. So that is about the perspective. I can enable it, I can disable it. So let us enable it and move on. So the next one is 3D rotate. 3D rotate is just the tool that is used to rotate your text or objects by X and Y. On the X and Y axis, can you see it? So it is rotating it as though it's a 3D element. X and Y, that's about 3D rotate. You can use it in some cases, excuse me, you can use it in some cases, but not necessarily in all your designs. Because sometimes if you're not good at using 3D, you might get your design destroyed. So the next one is 3D text. The 3D text is just a tool that is used to make your text look like 3D, a three-dimensional structure. So you can, I will talk about the 3D in a video. There are some tools on this Pixel app that they actually need a separate video to be explained because they are not easy to understand, and it takes a lot of time and self-development to also understand them. So this is the 3D. Can you see the 3D text? So they use it in mockup. If you are mocking up with Pixel Lab, you can use 3D text. Can you see this even looks like a mockup? So that is about 3D text. And the next one is 3D shadow. 3D shadow is just to make your design looks as though it is placed on a surface. So let us add it. Okay, let me remove the shadow because the shadow and the 3D shadow cannot work together. The normal shadow, can you see the 3D shadow? So you can change the expand as though it is placed on a surface. Do you get it? That's about the 3D shadow. And reflection. Reflection is just to make your text looks as though it is placed on a glossy surface. So to complete the vibe of your 3D or mockup, you have to add a what do I call it? A reflection to it. So vertical offset, you can change the vertical offset to probably 0. Yes, you see what I'm talking about. It's fine this way. So that is about the text editing. So let us move to, okay, let us move to object editing. This video might be somehow long, but almost all the elements on the text editing option are the same with the object editing option. So all right, let us reduce the sizes of this one so I can move on with the object editing. So for the object editing, we are going to be, you firstly click on the third icon down here. So you click on it, that is where you edit your object. So we have a row of objects that you can add on your workspace. The first one is stickers. We have different stickers here. So you can take a touch through all your stickers and add the one you love. So let me just add a sticker. Sweet. Alright, so this is a sticker on our surface. So you can change any sticker. Import, that is importing an image to your workspace. You can't import a video to Pixel Lab, so be careful about that. Let me import an image to my Pixel Lab. So it will give you an option to crop and pre-edit your image, so I can change the dimension of the cropping of my image here. I'll speak on that in a video. So you can rotate and do some other things to it. So this is an image added on my workspace. So let me place it here. And the next one is draw. The next icon on our row is draw. Draw is just used to draw something on your screen. Let me draw something. Can you see? You can use it to draw anything. Maybe you want to have a freehand draw. Perhaps you want to add your signature to a design and you don't want to be using scanner to do it. You can just use it to draw and add your signature to it. So that is all about draw. Let me erase this, cancel. And shapes, we have different shapes. I'm going to talk on shapes in a video, so let us just take a touch through the shape. Let us just look at take an overlook at the shapes. We have different shapes here, different shapes, so you can choose a shape you like. You can choose rhombus. So the opacity of the shape, you know what opacity means, right? The color of the shape, black, white, red, orange. Stroke, the stroke, that is the outline. You know what that means, right? The opacity of your stroke too, and the stroke color, the blur radius of your stroke. So that's about the shapes. And the next one is Bezier. Bezier is also a very complex tool, just like the mask tool when I was explaining the text editing. So that is how Bezier tool also works. So in a video, I will dedicate a video to teach you about this Bezier tool. So let me skip this for now. And the next one is arrow. So you can use it to add an arrow to your workspace, to your design. So you can take a thought through the arrow this thing, and you can get it yourself too. So we have similar effects on this works on this things. So let us take a shape as an example. So when you click on this shape, it is going to bring a row of um, tools you can use to edit your shape or an object generally. So the first edit is to edit your shape. That is the shape editing tool. And the second one is delete. You know what delete means, right? So let us try that out. The third one is crop. Crop is used to crop your email, your objects or a shape, so you can crop your shape out. Okay, so it is cropped. The next one is copy. You can duplicate your shape. And the next one is to front. You know what that means, right? We did that, and we talked about that in the previous section of the video. To front to back. Position, you can move the position. You know what that means. Relative position, same thing as the text editing. Relative size, that is the size in the text editing. You know, when I was talking about the text editing, we talked about size. That is to avoid inaccuracy when altering the size of your object. So you can also use this relative size to alter the size of your object using the seek bar. The color, you know what the color means. All right. The texture, you know what that means. Opacity, you know about that. You see all those tools are similar. The color filter, hue, you can change the hue, the saturation, brightness, contrast, and so on and so forth. The next one is stroke, you know, outline. The next one is eraser. You can erase a part of your object. So this eraser too, I'll also make a video on it because it's also a tool which needs a separate video. Okay, see I've erased some parts of the object. So the next one is mask. I said I will talk about this mask in a video. The next one is erase color. You can erase a single color, a particular color. So I also talking on this erase color in a video, in another video. So be patient. Rotate, you know what rotate means, right? 3D rotate, you know about that, right? Good. Can you see all those tools are very similar? Very similar. The 3D shape is just like the 3D text when we're talking about text editing. So it's just like the 3D text. So we can also talk about this in another video for comprehension. Do you get it? I don't just want to jam pack everything in a video, and at the end of the day you will not be getting anything and you will not understand all the tools very well. So let me make a separate video for this tool. Perspective, you know what that means, right? Shadow, you know about that. Inner shadow, you know about that. Emboss, you know about that. Can you see it is destroying it for the second time? It's so adamant and destructive. But if it's not destroying anything, can you see it is very beautiful here? So thank you for watching. That is all about the text editing and object editing on Pixel Lab. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.